guys cast this while like everything was locked down.
Yep.
I mean, that had to have been completely, it was all brand new. It was like, this had to be completely challenging, I would think.
Yeah, it was. And also it was shot in LA, in Los Angeles. So everything is, you know, large and on a big scale. There were large party scenes, and large office scenes. And so you had to be very, very careful. And at that time, there were not vaccination mandates in place. So the testing was very rigorous. And, you know, I think production did such an amazing job with what they had to accomplish in the way that they had to accomplish it.
Like, how did you go about, was it all like self-tapes and Zoom?
Yeah. Yeah. So we really didn't do any producer sessions over Zoom. We everything was requested self-tape, so we would discuss ideas with them for, you know, the series regulars, our main players in the piece, and then they, you know, they would audition, and then we would present the people that we really felt were the most right for it, and from there we would have further discussion or conversation. But oddly enough, on this show, because on others we have done producer callbacks over Zoom, we didn't do any. It was really sort of a meeting of the minds and people coming together on the choices.
I obviously, like Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd attached to it. Like if I went in for the audition, I automatically think like this was like a more comedic sort of thing to do. Did you specify that in, like, in the breakdowns, or like did you have to redirect people? Like I want to think, I think it want to be like do a more heightened sort of, you know, character-y thing.
Yeah. Fortunately, I feel like everybody did a little bit of research, which was interesting. And I think you can do that because you have more time. You're at home. You don't have to drive an hour and a half to 2 hours for an audition when you're getting the pages, you know, 2 or 3 days before. So there's time to do a little bit of research. And we, you know, tried to educate people as much as possible that this was based on the podcast from Wondery, based on a true story. So, and we would give a little context of the tone. And then there were some people that we definitely, you know, redirected, and from the day players up to, you know, our more significant roles that were prominent in the piece. But, you know, Cornell Womack, he's a pro. We know him. We've been, you know, bringing him in and casting him for some time. So he was somebody right from the start who felt just perfect for Bruce. Robin Bartlett, we have cast, you know, many times, and she is, you know, kind of in my brain, there was nobody else for it. She's just perfect. You know, so we really relied on people that we have cultivated relationships with over, you know, a period of time, as casting directors do. So
for this particular project during COVID,
I did an air check for Annie Corzin, who plays Paul Rudd's mom.
Yeah,
and she was fabulous.
Yep, great.
Like, had you guys worked with her before?
Yeah,
I stumped you.
Sure. Yeah, I think you stumped us. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm going to look that up, Lance.
Yeah, because I remember seeing that, and you know, Alyssa Morris is our associate on this project, and it was really, honestly, the first time we're working on a project where all of us are not together, and we rely so heavily on the loudness and the shoutiness and the calling out ideas, and, you know, really kind of collaborating in that way. And so I think we all felt. Yeah.
I'm looking it up, and I don't think we've ever cast her before.
I don't think we have. I think we have read her.
Exciting. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you like the sort of the way casting is right now, like with the, you know, the more self tapes and Zoom callbacks? I mean, hopefully whenever this goes, the pandemic is sort of kind of gone down, do you think you guys will rely on that still a lot more, or what do you think about that?
I think there's going to be a hybrid. Look, I think we all miss being in the room with actors, and I think a lot of the actors miss it as well, because there's something that you just get from being in the room with someone and the ability to play. And if an actor, does the wrong choice and they come in the room, you can easily give them direction and play with it and get them more relaxed and support them. And when they feel that support, they just blossom right in front of the camera. So you give each actor more of an opportunity to really get the role in some ways. But what the self-taping does is give so many more people opportunities, because we can see 25 actors for a role and some, or 50 actors we don't do that many, but you can see so many more people for a role because you can take chances, because you don't have to slot people in to 15-minute time periods with the producers.
Over a 3-hour window. Yeah.
Right. So, and also sometimes not having all the producers in the room gives the actor, even on a Zoom call back with us, we can play with them more, and they're not trying to please everybody. They're just concentrating on the work. So there's some benefits to both.
I remember going in for you guys a couple times, and unlike a lot of rooms, you guys made it so comfortable, and it was just so warm. I mean, I was still completely nervous, but I felt more comfortable in that sort of nervousness. And then, I remember, Sherry, you kind of redirected me to do something, and then when I did it, you kind of jumped up in your chair and and I still had a couple more lines to do. And
did I hug you?
No, but it made me feel like in the back of my mind, I was like, holy crap, I'm doing good. And it just made me even just more confident. Yeah, so I love self-tapes. I don't have to deal with traffic or anything like that, but being in the room, I totally miss.
There's an energy, and we all miss it. And I think we're all waiting for the moment in time where we can be together again, for sure. We will never, ever be an office that is strictly self-tape. A lot of offices have become that even prior to pandemic, to COVID. But that's just never been the way that we like to generate the work.
Also, because sometimes you're only getting a couple of pages, so you have to guess. And when you're in the room, we can give you context, we can explain things, and tone. I think in this particular project that, Georgia's writing was incredible and the tone was on the page, but still it helped, if it might help to, for other projects more so than this, just to get a sense of it when you're in the room with us. There's so many shows where you can't, Better Call Saul, we're not even allowed to give you anything. And sometimes the sides are fake. So we can say, no, you're really, this is the Bob Odenkirk character you're reading with. And it's like, oh, a light bulb goes off, but we can't do that in an email.
When you guys watch a self-tape, how long do you spend on it till you move on?
Good question. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, unless it is really not, there's a couple things going into play. If it's somebody you were like, you know what, I've never seen them audition for us before. I want to get a sense of who they are and how they handle text and what they bring to the table in terms of choices. We'll watch it the whole way through because we're educating ourselves. And that's part of our job, is to continue education. If it's somebody that we have known for a long time and we just say, you know what, not sure if it's right, but just want to see if there is something there that connects the spirit of the actor to the spirit of the character, but it's not right, then we can sort of move on, and with respect, because we know it's not the perfect fit.
And the antithesis of that, sometimes we'll know somebody really well and have them read, and literally in 2 lines, I'm like, that's it, she's the one.
Yep.
Send it to the producers, so.
Yeah.
You guys preferred 2 takes on the self-tape, 2 sort of different ways to go about it?
Yep. Yep. We've been asking for, if there is only one, if it's a co-star role and it's one scene, a few lines, 2 takes, 3 if there's one in there that you just want to give it a shot. We really kind of leave it up to the actor. But if it is a more substantial role with several scenes, 2 is fine to send to us. We ultimately will probably only send 1 take unless we're really, questioning we don't want to edit ourselves too much sometimes, because the producers could come back and say, they're missing a moment where it was, and that's exactly what was in the other take. So, it's sometimes you have to just be mindful of the process or the questions, anticipate what they're going to ask the producers or the director.
Sorry, I'm asking self-tapes, but that's the way things are going right now. Do you what are some self-tape tips that you have, like good lighting or what's the
good reader who's not too close to the camera and not trying to audition for themselves?
Right, the reader. Yeah.
If a reader is really distracting, it's not about the reader, it's about the actor. So find somebody who really is going to, give you a little bit of something to play off of, but not try to sort of make it about them, because that's not what they're there for. Good lighting is, typical, and, shooting from the right angle, and just be yourself in the slate. You don't have to try to crack jokes, and just be yourself.
I think that's a really good note, and especially for kids, don't try that hard in the slate to be liked and all of that. It's just, hey, I'm Lance Carter. I'm 5'10". I'm in LA. I'm fully vaxxed. Boom.
My wife is my reader, and she's terrible. I hope she never sees this. But yeah, so I got that one, that part covered. I forgot to mention Casey Wilson. She's fantastic. How did you guys bring her on?
I've been a longtime fan of Casey, and I think that people know her in one lane, and it was very exciting. We had read her for The Handmaid's Tale one season, and we had read her for an independent movie that was a really deep and layered character. And she had to go, to some places, and the work was beautiful. But then she had also read with us on, Danny McBride's on Vice Principals. So to be able to support her in a role like this, where she really gets to show what she can do as an actress, and the layers and the levels that she has, and that she is nuanced, it's exciting. And I also just love her as a person. So, it all kind of comes together she was kind of like in my head when I had read it. So,
and I think that's the exciting thing about casting. And I'll speak for my partner. One of the great things, I think, she was the lead casting director on this one. And what she did was really take actors that are known for one thing and respect and believe in the breadth of their talent and say, I'm going to try something else here. And our associate did the same, with the smaller roles. It's like, what? Alyssa Morris, they were really good when they read for Better Call Saul and a drama, but there's something there. Let me try it. And tonally, you had to have both here. A naturalistic performance, I think, is what was required in The Shrink Next Door, and it was in George's writing. So
show directed, and Jesse Peretz, really kind of took everybody, and everybody shines. I mean, it's incredible. It's really wonderful to see that. Thank you, Sharon.
No, but I think I think actors often think, oh, they only think of me for this. And it happens. It's a natural human thing to think of somebody in one way. And what's exciting for us in casting, and it keeps us 23 years later together, excited about things, is to try new things and to see an actor as a whole and say, let's try them for this. There was somebody we just couldn't hire recently that has absolutely not known for comedy. And Sherry was like, she's so smart. She gets it. Let's try it, And that's exciting when we're able to do that. And I think actors don't think it happens, and it does.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why you guys are so successful, and all the shows you do, which are fantastic. I think you are known for bringing in people who are looked at one way, and then you sort of give them this whole new sort of light, this new career almost, you bring people in for comedy, and they knock it out of the park in some dramatic kind of role. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys are fantastic.
Thank you, Lance.
What a nice day to start the day.
And then, so I don't want to keep you on for too much longer, but I just have one more question. What is the craziest audition story that you have?
There's so many, Lance.
Well, it's crazy. It's not recent, but it is really funny. And it's when I really first started, when I was having a lot of autonomy with Sharon. We started out, I was her associate for about 2 years, and then we became partners. And one of the first things that we did together as Bialy Thomas was the unit with Sean Ryan and David Mamet and Eric Haney. And I just was, to say I was enthused was another thing. The Shield was my favorite show at the time, and it's still in my top 5. And so I was working with Sean Ryan, and Sharon was working with David Mamet. It was like a big deal. And so I said, oh my God, Michael Rispoli is going to be in town from New York, and we need to get him in. They called and pitched him. And Sharon says, huh? And I'll get there in a minute. And I said, yeah, I think it could be really cool and really interesting. I think we got to try it. And she says, you feel really passionately about it. I don't see it, but if you feel like you want to give it a shot, okay. And I said, yeah, I really feel like it could be really cool. And okay, great. And so we're sitting in the session, and he walks in, and everybody says, hi. And, he's a wonderful actor. Everybody knows he's a wonderful actor. And I write on Sharon's session next to me, I had Michael Imperioli in my head. Oh my God, this is completely the wrong actor that was in my head. And everybody was so nice and so lovely, because he's a wonderful actor. And he even said coming in, I don't really know why I'm here. I feel like this is not in my wheelhouse, or I'm not right for this at all, but wanted to come and meet you guys.
And it was the hardest thing in the world to not be hysterical laughing when she wrote, I meant Michael Imperioli. Rispoli. And then we had to go through the audition, and I'm biting my lip so that I don't laugh.
But everybody was generous and kind, and he even was like, I'm not right for this, but I'm here.